All right. Okay. So today we are today we are 444 days up on the day. Uh took this little baby shirt right here. Bam, bam, bam. Kind of went break even right here. Today was pretty rough day for me. Yeah, today was a very rough day for me, I would say. A lot of break even trades here. Uh I broke my rules obviously, trying to do one trade a day. But a lot of break even trades, making like $100 and then $100. Then finally made this big trade right here. Uh, got a little bit more money. And then I finished up with a little more money here. I was kind of basically just doing the math here and kind of getting the realizations of like, all right, I don't need to make $1,000 or 1,500 trying to quickly pass an eval every single fucking day. Um, I just need to just be disciplined. Today's a Friday. One law streak has fully been broken. Law streak has fully been broken. Today's Friday. Kind of just did the math on like, hey, if I made $400 for $450 a day, how much would that be? Or, if I made for instance, if I made like $300 uh a day, how much would that be? How much is that? How much is that a year? 80K. So kind of like just like a realization, like, hey, like if we hop on Trading View and we just look at it right here, we just look at it right here, put it into perspective, like, hey, how much is $300 a day? You know what I mean? $300 a day is like we risk 100 because I'm very comfortable with just risking 100, and just here, let me see, trying to set it up real quick, but just risking like 100, pretty tight stop, and it's a 15-point move, you know what I mean? And we're already just, already three times our RR. And like this whole candle right here just, already, hit $300 a day, you know what I mean? Like it's not hard for us to hit that 300. We can even sometimes even go even more and get 800, $800 in one day is pretty crazy. And yeah, I think a lot of people, I think what happened with my psychology is that I've been watching, a lot of popular YouTubers like Justin Werlin and yeah, a lot of YouTubers like Justin Werlin and like TJR and stuff like that, or whoever it may be, and forgetting, and I lost a sense of reality, like reality of, these this is what the normal society would get paid on a daily basis, and I would already be at the living bracket of comfortability of making 80K a year, not really doing much, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, hey, reality check here, bro, but you're making uh $300 a day is pretty solid for you already. And if you're making $400 in if you're making $400 a day, you're already basically over that mark. And plus on top of that, I have a job, so like it's like extra income. And what's the point of you're trying to do something that's not really tangible yet because you don't have enough money for yourself to be able to do that. And I'm also trying to grow my money from over here to over here. I want to, get my live account going on. As you can see, I have $4. I have $4 in here because I fucking put 8 so I can buy the CME market. I uh, I want to start putting some. I want to start throwing at least like I want to throw at least like $600 in here, or 800, and I want to start growing my live account as well. So a lot of the money I make will be daily for me, and it'll just be based off of commissions of how yeah. So just like commission based, I can't really trade. Obviously, for in micros, I would need $100 at least to trade at least one micro. So which is pretty not too bad, but I kind of want to start pulling away from prop firms and trying to start get into more live accounts and kind of like basically use the reality check of $300 a day, um, which is pretty cool. I will try to aim for my goal is to really try to grow my live account from my prop firm. So 5 prop firm accounts. I want to max out. I'm pretty sure MFFU. How many accounts can you have with MFFU? Pretty sure they said it's like 4 or 5. Yeah, so it's like 5 sim fund that you can have. 50Ks only. Um, 50Ks, 50Ks times 5. That's basically almost half half a mil. I think it is. Yeah, 50K times 5. No, I mean quarter mil. Sorry, not fucking half a mil. Quarter mil, and that's 5 accounts all around, sim funded, and basically $300 a day times that by 5. You're getting way over. Like I don't even know how much that even is. 1,500. Um, 1,500 a day in a year. What? If you make a friend, how much is it a year? Yes, you're already making half a mil, bro. You're making half a mil already, and that's just amazing. So, um, going throughout next week, I want to come into next week. I want to come into next week with the mindset of just $300 a day. Like, that's really it. If I have more max allocation on that, I'm gonna get. I'm not trying to worry about the future of the future of this. I'm just trying to start enjoying the process of what it can be at this current moment. Um, Market's been moving pretty rough for me. I legit just broke my loss streak. If I'm being honest here, like I took this trade, and this is honestly what uh was a changing factor of me getting to almost 450 today. So basically just how I ran through it today was, I no pretty much I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty much really just hindsight, kind of just looking for that draw liquidity, for that seek and destroy. I was waiting for this to sweep. I was waiting for this to tap here at these top. Like here, let me see on the 15 minute. On the 15 minute, I'm pretty sure I can show you more of a better explanation of it than what I can. I didn't take AM because I was legit fucking late as fuck. So I tried to get something a little more shorter. I could have honestly got 1,500 this trade. Because I was again looking for retracements. I wasn't looking for anything more significant than that. I missed out on AM session, so I was already cooked before I even got here. But luckily, they had another tap. Tap here, went down, then tap here, went down, tap here, went down. I completely think this was straight up just an algorithm day. Obviously, if you guys trade ICT, it was straight algorithm day. But it was just like very systematic. I want to say very systematic on how today played out. I don't think uh I don't think a lot of strategies would have made profit today, in my honest opinion, especially if you didn't trade ICT or SMC, from what I've known. But yeah, so right here, like big trades and staying at delivery. This trade right here alone, this is trade right here I would have took, but I wasn't up. So, but obviously, like hindsight, blah blah blah, all that shit. But yeah, so that was actually a really good trade. That was a really good trade. Yeah, hold on, actually go back to that. That was a really good trade right here. I would have risked 10 points. Yeah, would have made $500 with this trade. Yeah, that's a really good trade. Yeah, really good trade to 500. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, bro. Like I said, I was in a really rough loss streak. As you can see here, I have many different accounts. I was on a really rough loss streak today this week. I mean, this starting of this year, I was losing pretty bad. So, and honestly, majority of the time, the losses I was taking was because I was over trading. Uh, This right here legit goes to show that even if I have discipline and rules, I still fail my rules, which is the reality of it. But this is one day will destroy me more than I think. So really, I'm trying to like get out of that habit. These trades here was break even, because I didn't trust the trades at all. Like I could have legit held here. I could have legit said to me like, yeah, I don't know what happened here. I don't know why I bought here and then sold here, but obviously I thought it wasn't going to go in my direction, which actually wasn't. So I'm actually glad I actually bought here. So sorry, but actually I think I think I went break even. I put my stop up. I think it was like 200 bucks up, something like that, and then I would just went break even on that trade. Same thing here. I think I lost this trade. Yeah, I lost like 30 bucks, and then here I lost like 100. And then I started shorting, and then I started like kind of like getting scared of the trades. Um, and the rest is history. From that point on, I was confident in this keep on continuing down. Chocolate was lower, and I took that was my initial trade. And the problem with I think my trading is that when I see my setup, I don't have a clear sight of my setup yet. I feel like I think that's one of my problems. So I don't have a clear sight of my setup, and like easily I would take this. Like this would have been my setup here. Would have took change the same delivery, change the state of delivery right here. From the last candle, changing state, and then I would wait for a retest back into a retest back, and then oh wrong one. Fuck, but you know what I mean. Retest back here. Put my stop loss a little bit lower right here, and then I would measure it more. But I would have to measure my calculations, and that's another problem I have because I have a big habit of, you know, going really small. And I think this would have stopped me out actually. Yeah, it would have stopped me out. So that's another thing that I have a big habit of, and that's why I also have that continuation of fear. But if I would have traded this, I would have almost capped out at $400. This, yeah, I would have capped at like $400 in this trade right here. But then again, this whole trade right here, I would have been completely scared to trade right here. I wasn't. This market um definitely makes me lose confidence. I have the lowest confidence inside this market, and it just goes to show just how much I've been over trading. Uh, there is not very much I can really try to do besides continue practicing my strategy and just looking for changing states for value gaps and continuations for just more confident confluences to continue off of that, or maybe some OBs to help out with that. But like I said, very I'm not I haven't I have not been confident inside any of my trades um for how everything been. I just been looking for whatever was a good setup for me, you know what I mean? So like later on in the day after AM session, it started going higher and higher and higher. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people got cooked for it. But I woke up like around like I want to say 11. Literally just bought this account today. Woke up around 11 and took this short. Um, but yeah, because I seen something that was plausible. You know what I mean? I got to change in the state. I look for a continuation, and boom, bam. That's all I look for really. Just change the state, continuation. Tapped into a Ferrari gap, and we just continue down to draw liquidity, which is what I aim for, which made me this money. Continuation, change the state, draw liquidity. That's all I look for. I try to keep it simplistic. And I don't try to overcomplicate it. Don't try to make it looks pretty crazy. Maybe I'll use time frame alignment and all that good stuff, but other than that, don't try to make it look crazy. Today draw liquidity was definitely going higher. Got fucking lucky with my trade, in my opinion, for that little change in state. For that little retest back to the bottoms, and then it just ran start running up higher. I got really lucky with this trade, but yeah. So I'm trying to change my mindset about this. I'm not trying to be much of a scalper. I'm trying to be more of a uh, trader. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not trying to be a scalper kind of guy, but I'm trying to think of this on a longevity of things. So if I feel like we're going to go longer and the draw liquidity is longer, I'm gonna try to look for, instead of me taking this short right here to make 400, I could have seen the bigger picture of this and like took long care. But hindsight, I can explain that and say this all over just to show you, like to say like, oh yeah, I could have did this and this instead of like this, and then I would have made more money. But at the time, that was the most plausible thing. So I'm trying to get a better habit of seeing the bigger picture of things instead of like, hey, I should take these longs. Then I mean I should take this short and then hope for it to go down to this because there's a fair value gap here that hasn't been filled. And sometimes what I've been seeing lately is that if we're really strong on one side, we wouldn't come back to fill these gaps until probably later on in like the month. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I got in here and I put two cons by accident, and it was already up like $400. Then I tried to sell the cons, and then I kept on. It was getting delayed, and it wasn't operating. So I was like, "Oh shit!" Maybe I added another con. I mean, I added like two more cons, and I had bought four. Then I had another two cons, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And for some reason, I don't know why I didn't just do exit at market and clear. I don't know why I didn't do it, but I did it. So I fucking I had blew two of my accounts. So now I'm just slowly just trying to build up into one account. But yeah, so going into next week, I'm guessing that we're going to be targeting these areas of zones right here because we have shit ton of liquidity. Um, as you guys know, I've never seen the market just die from all the way down here. I think that's a pretty big leap. But considering how we moved last week, we're definitely going to fill up this bottom and to these tops. So I think I'm gonna start. I think my new trajectory of upcoming next week is to be fully bullish. Starting to next week because we already made our market maker model for our sell side, and now we're on our buy side. And now I'm thinking that we're going to possibly, if in my opinion, probably take out these lows here on the day, and then we're probably going to fill up back up here into these liquidity areas. I mean, these zones of liquidity here. So yeah, that's how I feel about how market's gonna move. That's just my bias on a daily and the weekly for how everything's gonna move. Um, I'm still a little bit shaken up, but I'm getting confident in how the market is moving. Because of just how everything just operated throughout this week. But I'm getting more confident slowly. Just how everything has been going so far. There's less fear in my trades. Trying to make less fear in my trades, but we're definitely slowly chopping up throughout the day. And I think that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. But yeah, so I think that was about it. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys either on a live trading session or whenever I do another recap on how I traded on the day. But yeah,